have something that ultimately draws the wedge between man and God, you know, and this ensured that these few white men would be gods, because the white man, his ultimate feat was to be God. In the Bible, the sickest thing is the sickest thing ever, but it's just the truth that the white man inked himself in as God is the Old Testament, because the white man doesn't have no history or none of that. So all of these people getting killed off in the Bible, all these ites and Ishmaelites, and how God is like, if you don't follow my law, you die type shit. That was white people back in the day. That was your fucking Alexander the Greats and your King Leopolds and shit. You know what I'm saying? These were European tyrants. When you have God killing all these people in the Bible, that is a terrible, terrible message. But it's a great way to understand European history, and it's a great way to draw that parallel. Like I was saying, in Cain and Abel, God ain't have shit to do with that. God ain't had nothing to do with Cain and Abel, and that was the first murder, period. So how after Cain and Abel do you get God killing up everything in the Old Testament? If you don't follow my law, you die. You know what I'm saying? If you don't follow my law, you die. Because the white man was the only one that was killing people because you didn't believe what he believed. You understand? And this is how this took place. And that's why I say the dollar bill is the greatest invocation, because this is an attempt for the white man to really make himself God by putting this dollar bill here and putting, Lincoln, Washington, whatever you want to call them, Grants, Benjamins, drawing this wedge between you and God to a point where it's like, fuck God, it's all about the Benjamins, nigga, about their fucking money, nigga, fuck all that God shit, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It is, like I said, it totally draws the wedge between the spirit and its true destination and its true purpose. The dollar bill. The dollar bill confuses that whole complex of the spirit, and that's what it was meant to do. When you have that eye, the eye detached from the pyramid, this is a message that we stole all your ancient knowledge, because the eye, like I say, man, the brain is the only eye. These are just windows. These are just lenses. These are just windows for you to look out of. But this one is the true eye. This is the one that knows everything. So, and when they have that eye detached from that pyramid on that dollar, that is symbolic of, we stole your power, we took your power, and until you get it back, you won't have no power. We are your gods. Until you get your knowledge back, that is where you have that whole symbolic story. It's all entailed in the dollar bill. And now we're your gods. In God you trust now. In us. And I believe that's Romans. We can always have Bible study, because that's one of my greatest fortes is the Bible, is religion. We can always have Bible study where it's right in the Bible where it says, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the people. The God of this world has blinded the minds of the people, which is actually the dollar bill, which has blinded the minds of the people, and completely taken that ancient knowledge, and made them slaves based upon this lack of knowledge, So, like I'm saying, the whole concept of the dollar bill, is an inbred backwardness. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Yeah, man. The whole concept of the dollar bill is an inbred backwardness. And another thing is how, ever since we were little, we always heard, don't judge no man. You have no right to judge nobody. We have no right to judge a man. And, I have to ask all Christians, this is something that we've been hearing since we were little. Because truly, we have no power to judge nobody. But there's a very thin line between judging someone and just saying how you feel about some shit. You have those people that are very emotional and may hear what you say, and may hear you say, oh man, shit, whatever about them, and be, oh, don't judge me, as a form of defense, when actually I'm not judging at all. I'm just saying how the hell I feel. You know what I'm saying? But when I ask, and when I'm alluding to is, ever since we were little, we always heard that no man should judge anyone else. So just like we've always heard our parents say, "Oh, white people got money because they don't mind driving their car for their long. They don't mind doing this. They don't mind wearing these busted shoes or whatever." Just in that same way, you know, ever since we were little, we always heard that you should judge no man. We should judge no man. If that is the case, you have no right to judge. If that is the case, then what the hell is that sitting up in the fucking courtroom? Slamming, giving life, taking life and giving life, taking and giving freedom, all off the whim of his voice, all off the whim of their voice in the slam of a wooden piece. Is this not somebody playing God right in our face? Right here, is this not someone playing God? So who are we really fucking playing with, man? And this is the type of ignorance, this is the type of fucking foolishness that we dabble in as a collective, as a people. And that's what really makes this shit sickening. That's what really makes this shit truly sickening. That we are letting these things go right in our face. Understand that the Bible is a war book, man. The Bible is a war book. I don't know how many of your pastors actually break it down just like that, but that's the bottom line, that the Bible is actually a war book. And religion is the deification of a man's culture. And we can always go on that, I always talk about that. But it is important to understand that the Bible is a war book. There are chapters in the Bible that tell you get ready for war. I believe it's in Ephesians, maybe Ephesians chapter 6, or I could be wrong, but I definitely believe that's it. 'Cause I believe Ephesians is the book that has, the armor of God, the breastplate of righteousness, and the shield of faith, all that. For you to have breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, you must be in some type of war, some form of war, which is actually, technically speaking, spiritual warfare, which is the epitome of war, and is ultimately an intuitive, intellectual warfare. But we have not understood it as just that. We have not understood the level of this war. And very, very important to understand all these things and understand how this is translated to the mind of the believers, and that's why I say this is a war book, because actually this whole doctrine is translated its way to the mind of believers, to where that's how because it's translated its doctrine to the point to where all the people who read this book know who's going to hell, and they cannot tell you the first part of who's going to heaven. Christians always know so and so going to hell for that, they're going to hell for that, but Christians cannot tell you the first motherfucker who going to heaven. That's some war complex shit. And that's some war psycho shit. That's some psycho war shit.